What's up guys, my name's Zeddy. Today I've got a fun new budget deck to dominate games with that I'm excited to show you all. This video is designed for new players that are looking to get right into building their first decks and playing on the ladder. We'll start out with a brief introduction of Gwent's mechanics, including round control, deck building, and the advantages of playing on either side of the coin toss. After that, we'll take a look at an easy to build monsters deck list and talk about its strongest cards. Then, we'll take it into a couple matches and see how it works. I hope you enjoy. Gwent's round-based gameplay makes it totally unique from other card games. In order to close out a match, your task is to win 2 out of 3 rounds of play. To do this, players take turns exchanging their resources to try to gain an advantage over their opponent. If you are able to successfully win the first round without expending your key resources, you'll be in the driver's seat to close out the game with all of your best cards in hand. When building a deck, players assemble a collection of bronze and gold cards. A deck can hold up to 2 copies of a bronze card and 1 copy of a gold card. Gold cards are typically stronger and offer greater synergies with the rest of your deck. This means that playing your gold cards in earlier rounds is high risk, high reward, since you will generally be unable to play them again later on in the game. A strong deck combines high tempo cards with reliable engines to generate lots of points quickly in a round. Engine cards are cards that generate points each turn, or whenever a certain condition is met. For example, a Baya generates an additional point each time you play a unit with higher value. Tempo cards are cards that play for a lot of points up front. Egern, for example, plays for 13 points right out of hand, giving you the ability to quickly swing around in your favor. At the start of a game, a coin toss determines which player will play the first card. If you are on red coin, you'll have the opportunity to mulligan away up to 2 of your cards from your starting hand. Playing from second also gives you a significant advantage, since you will always have the ability to pass safely without losing card advantage. If you are on blue coin, you get an additional mulligan as well as the ability to play tactical advantage. Tactical advantage is a quick way to give yourself a point boost to protect yourself from your opponent's push. When you are doing your mulligans, you'll have the option to swap out some of your weaker cards for stronger cards. Many new players make the mistake of simply replacing bronze cards for gold cards. However, there are situations where it is better to play your bronze cards first. For example, if you're playing on blue coin and are against a tough matchup, you don't want to get caught wasting valuable gold cards in a round you are likely to lose. This is why it's important to know what tools you have at your disposal in your deck to survive a bleed, or alternatively, to push your opponent without exhausting all of your resources. At the beginning of each round, each player draws an additional 3 cards. This means that, generally speaking, you'll be able to play a total of 16 out of the 25 total cards in your deck. Good players use their mulligans and thinning cards to improve the consistency of their decks and draws. Thinning cards, like Wild Hunt Riders and Penitent, allow you to play cards directly from your deck. These types of cards are used to reduce the total number of cards in your deck, which makes it easier to find your best cards in later rounds. The most important piece to mastering the basics of Gwent is to learn your deck's win condition. Since Gwent games can last anywhere from 2 to 3 rounds, you can expect to play rounds of varying lengths. It is important to know whether your deck is better in a short or long round, and to know which cards you need to be successful in a particular round. For example, engine pieces provide lots of value in a long round, but are overshadowed by high tempo cards in short final rounds. Being comfortable with the contents of your deck is essential to understanding how to mulligan, when to pass, and when to push for the win. This deck uses some of the best cards from the starter set, along with a few epic rarity cards to control your opponent's board and bleed out their resources with cheap, easy to use engine pieces. I've posted the deck list in the description below, so feel free to import it into your deck library and start winning games right away. For this deck, we're combining the Fruits of Izagith Leader ability with Ethereal Demons to generate a ridiculous amount of points each turn. The combo is super easy to use and I'm excited for you all to see it. The Beast is a staple engine in most competitive monsters lists. It's a great way to get dominance on your side of the board, and when combined with some of your higher tempo cards like Goliath, it can generate a ton of points for you over the course of a round. Ozrel is one of the best cards in the Monsters faction because he allows you to play your highest point cards twice. With Ozrel, you can safely play a high tempo card like Old Spear Tip in an early round, and then consume him from your graveyard for a massive point swing in the final round. Lastly, Andrega Larva is one of the best bronze cards in the whole game. It may look weak at face value, but Andrega Larva provides a ton of points over the course of the round. If you play it at the start of a round, each unit you play afterwards will net you an additional 2 points. Andrega Larva is the safest, cheapest, and most reliable engine piece to use in all of your monsters decks. That does it for the deck overview. Let's jump into a game and see how it works. Alright, so let's give the deck a whirl. Okay, so we're up against Northern Realms Uprising.
Last words.
And we're going first. Okay. So we can push this in a little bit. Nice. Alright, so we have our Ethereal combo in our starting hand. It's actually a really good hand. We've got a lot of removal. We have our Ethereal, which is good. I don't think we're going to need Geralt in round 1 because he's pretty big removal, so let's get rid of him. Nice, we found a Larva. That's awesome. I actually really like this hand. I'm going to get rid of Lacerate just because I don't think Northern Realms goes very wide. So we're not really going to need that tech in this matchup. And there we go. We have a really nice Thrive package as well. Because we're playing against Northern Realms, we don't want to give them a long round because these guys like to boost a lot. So we're going to start with the Ethereal combo on the ranged row right away. So in order to use a combo, you use your leader ability, and then you immediately place your Ethereal to the left. And all you have to remember is to do that each turn, refresh that each turn. So your fruit will become an Ethereal, which means that you get another fruit. Because the way this ability works is you get it refreshed every time if you do not have fruits on the board. So since your fruit is now an Ethereal Demon, you can use fruits again. And you can do that every turn for the rest of the round.
Blood alone can my maid's honor unbesmirch.
So we'll start off, we'll use another fruit on ranged row. And then we can set up our Thrive package on melee row. So all you want to remember is that once you start committing a row with Ethereal and fruit, you want to make sure you play everything else onto the other row, because you don't want to take up space for your demons. And same as last time, just going to keep refreshing like that every turn. So that's 4 points a turn with the Ethereal fruits. You can just keep playing your cards as normal, and you're going to make an additional 4 points every turn. It's really, really good. Okay. So this is an engine piece for the other team. And it's always good to shut down your opponent's engines as soon as we can, and we have a number of ways of dealing with that. So we're going to start with our fruit. And then we're going to use Alzur's Thunder. It's just a really quick, easy way to do 5 points of damage. So we'll take care of the Frigate like that. And then, just because we have a really good advantage and we want to get out of this round so we can bleed him in the next, we'll use our tactical advantage here on our Ethereal, then we'll end our turn. You just don't want to use tactical advantage on your Thrive units because you always want to have units that are stronger than them. So if I use tactical advantage here, then I would have to play something with 7 points or higher. So we'll use it on one of the demons in the back. Okay, we're in a really good spot right now. We have a huge point lead. We can just keep refreshing our demons. And we don't need to play anything too crazy because we already have a ton of points. And we are dominating right now because of the Ethereal. We have dominance because he's the 9th. He's the 9 points. He's the highest point unit on the board. So we can go ahead and play our Wild Hunt Riders on melee row right now. That way we thin out our deck so we get better draws for rounds 2 and 3. Awesome. And we can just take that pass. So now our job is to make sure that our round 3 is as short as possible because we have lots of big and tall units. We just pulled Oswald, that's good. We have lots of big and tall units that we want to use. So we want to make sure that we have a really short round so that we can get the most value out of those tall units so that he won't be able to respond to them. So we have a bear, so we don't need the Noon Wraith. There's Goliath. This is actually a pretty decent hand, but I would like to see something a little better, so we'll get rid of Geralt again. And Lacerate gives us some removal options, so that's okay. This hand is a little tricky to bleed with. We don't have anything really low tempo to play at the beginning because there's no Larva. So we can just use Bruxa. Even though we lose the bleed value, we get more points out of her from thriving with her. So we'll set up our Thrive engine now so that everything we play afterwards gets pretty big and tall. Okay, so now what we can do is, because we want to bleed and we know we want to play a long round, we can try to make our units as big as possible so that we can get a lot of value out of the beast, because the beast will boost by 2 every turn if he's not the highest unit on the board. So here we can, for example, use another fruit because we want to make sure we get as much thrive value, and then we can play something really, really big like Goliath, because then if we play the beast next turn, the beast will keep pumping up until it outpoints Goliath. So it gives him something to kind of feed off of while we push him into this round.
To arms! For me, Bilberry's honor!
That's a cool combo, using Kidwani Revenant on Ronvid, because he'll keep coming back, which means he gets to keep making these. So knowing that, I don't really want to let him do that again, because that's kind of scary. So I'm going to kill his Revenant so that he doesn't have the order anymore. Normally in this situation, you'd want to take something big out, like the Trident Infantry, because this is a pretty decent engine. But we have Parasite in hand to deal with that, and I don't want to let him keep making 3 points a turn with the Kidwani Revenant and Ronvid, so we're going to shut that down right now. And then next we'll play the Beast. So we'll play the Beast now. So he starts bumping up. And there it goes, +2. Because our opponent hasn't played any golds really all game. Like this echoes, so it comes back. This keeps coming back from his graveyard. So he's just playing all bronze, and I don't like that. I want to see him commit something a little heavier. So we're going to put the tempo on with the Beast.
Left. For this most beautiful of maidens, I shall fight 100 duels!
Okay, we might have to end our bleed a little early because he's getting a lot of engines set up that we don't have that many answers for, but we have enough cards that we can push a little longer. So I'm going to play the Elder Bear. It plays for 8 points that way, plus another 2 on the Beast. So he's still down like quite a number of points, and we're just forcing him to play cards right now. That's all that matters, is that he's playing cards. But he's also making 4 points a turn, so we're going to want to get out of this as quickly as possible.
Sometimes the price is too damn high.
So here, he's actually given us an opening, because this isn't a soldier, and this needs soldiers on either side to refresh. He's actually given us an opening to shut down his engine there. So now he's still making 4 points a turn, but he's not getting any damage down on our side of the board. So we're still going to have dominance. The Beast will keep bumping up when he starts playing higher units. So yeah, now he's playing a lot of engines. We have a really good Lacerate set up on the back row, but we're probably going to have to pass here. He'll make 1, 2, 3 points at the end, which means he'll be tied. So this is where we pass, and we get our last card back. We'll just have to see what he does here and what he answers with. Okay. So we bled out a couple golds from him, which is pretty good. These are really good gold cards to get rid of, so I'm happy with that. And we still have Ozrel and Old Spear Tip, so that's really good. Nice. Okay. This is going to be a pretty short round, so I don't really want Lacerate because we're not going to get as much value out of it if he's not playing that many units. So that's really good. We're just missing Old Spear Tip, and we've got a number of good cards left, so I'm going to take the risk with the redraw here. I'm going to keep this as a removal, so I'm going to get rid of Bruxa and just see. And that's better than Bruxa, so that's good. That's a win for us.
Blood alone can mine mates.
Okay, so we know how this combo works. We know he's going to keep killing Ronvid, so even though ideally we would like to play the Larva first, we need to take care of this, so we're going to use Thunder there. We could have also used Striga, but I want to save Striga because he'll proc the Thrive on the Larva.
We tanned their black-clad hides at Sodden, we'll tan their black-clad hides again!
That's a defender, so we can't hit anything else he plays on that row, and that's fine. We'll just worry about the other stuff. We'll just get our engine set up. We're not going to worry too much about this. If we get lucky and he boosts it, we can kill it with Geralt, and that'd be really, really nice.
I fight for him, bleed for him.
Oh, looks like he's doing that for us. Awesome. So since we know he's going to boost that out of range, or boost that in range of Geralt next turn, we're going to play the Ice Giant now. And that way we can save and get some value out of Striga's damage once we clear out his defender. He's got a lot of strong cards left. But now we can take out his defender, which is really good. It gets value out of his leader ability. So Lyrian Scytheman boosts himself by 1 for each boosted allied unit. So we're going to kill Donmir.
Damn it.
And now we have an opening to damage his board. We've got quite a couple number of points left over, so see what happens. Oh, okay, so he used the Baron early, which is weird. Usually people like to save that for bigger units, but we'll take that. So it looks like he's trying to set up some more Kidwani Revenants, probably to combo with Ronvid in his graveyard. So if he does that, if he plays another soldier and then uses that, that's plus 3 points for him. So even though this would do 4 points of damage, we're gonna kill the Revenant. Actually, he has 2 Revenants, so either way, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna damage this so that it's no longer boosted, so that he loses value out of his leader ability. And then we can play Osrel, and hopefully that's enough points to win. And it looks like we did it, because this is going to play for 6 points. And then we play Osrel. So you play Osrel on ranged row. You find your strongest unit. Ours is Goliath. We eat him for 10 points. And 34 to 27 is the end of game score. Nice. So that's kind of the trick with Ethereal Fruits, is you want to use your Ethereal plus leader combo earlier on in the game to secure round control, and then you want to force a short round in the end, and then use your big and tall units plus your Thrive package to outpoint the other person. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this gameplay, and I hope you have success with the deck as well. Thanks so much for watching my first ever Gwent guide. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe and share your comments down below. With that said, I hope you enjoy using the deck on your grind to pro rank. Good luck and happy climbing.